Hey Javier, how are you?
Hey Johnny, good, good. How are you, man?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. What have you
Yeah.
been doing today?
A bit of training. Yeah. It's kind of a weird time when you spend so much time at home training, for months and months. We're used to travel so much and moving around. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but yeah, training, we probably won't have many races this year, so it's good to get ready for a race this weekend. In my case, two races, but
Hmm.
yeah, I'm excited about this new format of the Super League and yeah, getting to the start line again. What about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I've just been training today. It's like you say, it's been a weird time, hasn't it?
Yeah,
For me, it's been quite nice to actually spend some time at home. I think, like
yeah,
you seem to do a lot of traveling, so and me too with all the racing. But it's just been nice to spend this kind of period at home and get some training done.
yeah,
So, what's it been like for you during the lockdown and things? You obviously had a lot stricter lockdown than we did.
yeah. Well, I arrived from New Zealand in Spain like 1 week before the lockdown, and yeah, it was like it was crazy. I mean, the first week, you still think you're gonna have Olympic Games, and the season will keep going at some point. So you can try to train indoors, do your bike sessions, your run, and obviously not swimming. But after a week and a half, I realized it didn't look good, and they started to say that we would never have the Olympics or bigger races this year. So I took it a bit easier, actually, kind of an off season for almost a month or three weeks of doing almost nothing, and then towards end of April, I got back into it as a preseason again, and building up my fitness, hoping that we would be able to race sometime at the end of this year. And so yeah, at the moment, yeah, I'm quite fit. I've been training well, but I took it quite easy during the lockdown because it didn't make sense for me to kill myself without any races in the near future, and with the situation which was quite bad in Spain, and when you hear on the radio like 1,000 people a day were
Mhm.
dying from COVID, and that situation was just crazy. But it's a bit better at the moment, although the numbers are not great in the last few days. But yeah, hopefully we keep improving. Yeah. So yeah, what about you? What have you been doing in the lockdown?
Yeah, well, mine was very similar to you. Obviously, you go through different stages. The first stage, we were in Abu Dhabi. Actually, I actually flew out to Abu Dhabi, and
Yeah. Oh, really?
we were in a hotel in Dubai, training for a few days. And obviously, we heard, oh, the race is going to be cancelled, and then we thought, how are we going to get home? And then you kind of think that the season might continue after a couple of months of races being cancelled. Well, you convince yourself that anyway.
Yeah.
And then obviously it became, well, actually, we flew to America then to go to altitude training. So we
Oh,
were
yeah.
in Santa Fe in America, um, um, before Bermuda, thinking that if we got some altitude done, then if the Olympics was the only race that was going to happen this year, then that'd be
Yeah.
amazing. And then we heard that the Olympics was cancelled, and then we kind of realised then how severe it all was. And like you say, we flew. Well, we heard about stories in the UK of conference centres getting turned into into hospitals for thousands of
Yeah.
people, just in case their hospitals couldn't
Yeah.
cope, and everything got closed down, and we quickly realised that sport wasn't really the most important thing at the time, and people's
Yeah.
health was far more important. But we were very, very fortunate that we were always allowed outside. And one of the big things is I've learned how much I appreciate training and
Yeah.
training outside and being active. And I was the same as you. I took a few weeks to get my head around it, a
Yeah.
few weeks to kind of reset again, and realize that I wasn't going to be racing, if anything at all, this year.
Yeah.
And the last couple of months, I've been training quite hard, and like I said, it's been
Yeah.
quite nice to not have any pressure. Um, but obviously, we've got the Super League Arena Games this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Are you
uh,
excited about it?
I'm excited to race. I think
Yeah.
it'll be good fun to get racing, and it's something different. And I think it's important these times to do different
Yeah.
things. I've been doing different bike rides, different loops, been on my cross bike a little bit, been racing on Zwift a little bit, and doing different things. I think it'd be nice to do a Super League Games, which is Arena Games, should be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm excited as well. As you know, it's not my favorite distance. It's too short for a 70-year-old guy. I grew up even as a junior, as under 23. We only race Olympic distance, and my whole life I trained for that. And now when I'm in my 30s, this distance is starting to get shorter and shorter. So that's not great for me. But I really love that format. I love that kind of racing, and for the spectator, it's really spectacular. At the moment, we don't have many races or many big sport competitions. So I guess it's going to be a good show. I would love to watch it instead of racing it probably, but it's going to be fun, to be on the sideline and feel the nerves of racing again. Even in those distances, really, really, really fast. And in my case, I'll be racing the French Grand Prix the day before. So
Oh wow.
So a few of us are traveling from France, on a bus. Right after the race to Rotterdam for the Super League, so might be a bit tired, but it should be
French
fun,
Grand Prix. What's your French
Yeah.
team called nowadays? Because we obviously raced on the famous. We must have been there for the best part of 10 years.
It's live-in triathlon now,
Okay.
because unfortunately Satreville is no longer existing at the moment. So but it was fun times. I've been racing the French Grand Prix since 2005 or six, I think. So it's always good races, and looks like it's going to happen this first French Grand Prix race. So we don't have many races this year, and in the same weekend I have two of them. So it's a bit crazy, but I'm not really worried about the results. Of course, once you go there, you just give your best and try to do the best you can. But it would be nice to get out and race, and with all you guys. So it'll be pretty cool.
And I know it's not your favorite distance. I know I've always said that you've got one of the best engines in triathlon. So it normally takes you something like 8K to get going on the run, and then you start flying. But you're a good pulse swimmer. What do you reckon? What time do you reckon you're going to do for 200 meters in the first 200?
Man, well, my PB was a swimmer. And 200 meters, 154 short course, but no way I can do that at the moment.
I hope
No
you can.
way. No, I can't. And it was with I think back in 2009 with the suits, with the swimsuits. They were quite fast back then. But I don't know, a long course. I don't know. Hopefully not too far from 2 minutes, like to something. But yeah, I don't know. The first swim is gonna be good, but after the second, third triathlon, when you get in the water after a hard 1K run or the bike, it's gonna be quite challenging. So my experience in Super League, like this kind of races, we always start like really hard. You just think of a really short race and you go flat out, and then you finish. And this, well, usually we used to have 10 minutes. Now it looks like we're gonna have about 3 minutes rest. So you start again, and you realize you don't recover, and the pace slows down a lot. But it's quite fun, and there's a lot of strategy as well, and it's a different format, like having racing virtual on the bike and run. So it's going to be cool. Have you tried the treadmills, this curved treadmills?
Yeah, well, gyms and things have just kind of really opened up for us. So I actually went on a treadmill for the first time on Monday. And I've got a normal treadmill at home, but not a curved treadmill. And the first time I used a curved treadmill, I actually fell over. It's really, really different.
The same. I tried it once, and it looks like when you start to gain speed and you can't stop, and your legs keep going, and you don't know how to stop. So
I think it's important it's important to try it beforehand. And I found that you kind of need to get into a bit of rhythm, and if you try and run too fast, then you basically fall over. So you best kind of get your pace, and but like you say, it's something good and fun. Have you changed your training at all for it, or are you just kind of seeing?
Yeah, well, I try to do a bit shorter stuff, and some sessions on the trainer, and that day on the treadmill, and a bit of shorter things on the track, but not too much. I mean, I'm still thinking of the Olympics. I want to try the way I want to train for Olympic distance. That's my ultimate goal next year. So it's good to get a bit of speed, but it's more about having fun, giving our best, and put a good show for the people watching us. So hopefully, it's going to be interesting, and I hope everyone who's seeing us at the moment will follow the race on Sunday. Will be fun. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be tough for us because there's some real fast guys. Like Jonas Schomburg's obviously incredibly fast, and
I saw Starleys, and those guys were like really quick, for they stood those distances. So Yeah, well, we have experience at least. We've been racing for many years, so let's see what we can do. Yeah,
Well,
I was.
yeah, experiencing different kind. It'd be good fun, like you say. It'd be good.
Yeah. Well, it's great talking to you because we've been racing for many years now. I remember you coming up as a junior. I was already old, probably, but yeah, I think since 2009, 10, we've been, in the World Series and the big races. You obviously with your brother Alistair, and yeah, I have great memories of those rivalries, and then many races come to my mind. Do you have any race on your mind, like a big race, a big battle between you and I, or Alistair, you and I?
yes, well, definitely. Well, I first started racing you really in 2010, but properly in 2011. One of my
Yeah.
big memories was my first time I really raced you properly, which is in London
Oh yeah.
in 2011. Obviously, Alistair had it. Actually, no, sorry, that wasn't you.
That was
We got
2010, right?
10,
Yeah.
10, and I was there, but I was behind.
Yeah.
And then the big one was obviously the London Olympics. I think
Yeah.
was incredible because
Yeah.
we went into that race. My training had gone perfectly for a year before. I was the
Yeah.
fittest I've ever been, and I think that's still the fastest run there's ever been in triathlon.
Yeah.
And I remember basically sprinting the whole way around, and then I always just said, fair play. The best three athletes got the medals on the
Yeah.
day, and I thought your performance there was incredible.
Yeah.
Alistair obviously had a
Thanks.
very good day, but I think your run is probably still the second fastest run in triathlon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was amazingly impressed
Yeah.
with
That
that.
that that was impressive. That race was so amazing, and I think it was fair because not only uh, that moment we were the best three athletes in the world, but I think we for the 4 years before the whole Olympic period, we've been dominating probably 80-90% of the races. One of us or all of us would be in the podium. So I think that was fair, and it was a great performance for the three of us. And
Mm.
racing, and it's quite remarkable, like you guys racing in London with all the pressure you had, and you still managed to perform the way you did. Because for me, obviously, I had the pressure because I was fourth in Beijing 4 years before, and I really wanted to get that medal, and it was well probably more difficult on the paper for me in London with you guys and many others, of course. But I knew I was fit, and I had a good race. I remember having a great swim coming
Mm.
out of the water second, and being on the bike with you guys, a small group. When I think of that race, I don't remember many people because I was always towards the front. I was second
Mm.
out of the water. It was a small group on the bike, and then other guys caught us, but we were the same people at the front. And running from K1, it was just the three of us. So I remember after the race, checking the results to see how other friends and other people
Mm.
finished the race because I didn't see them. But and the atmosphere in Hyde Park was unbelievable. Obviously, me running between two British, it was so loud, and yeah, it was one of those big moments in the sport of triathlon. And yeah, those moments that you'll never forget.
Yeah, it's actually incredible. And you must have been really fit going into that. Had all your training gone well beforehand? Or because obviously one of the
Um,
interesting things about it is I could see what Alistair was doing day in, day out. And I
yeah,
knew on that race that Alistair was
yeah,
very likely to beat me because he was so fit.
yeah,
But apart from him, I had no idea about everyone else's shape. Well, apart from Varga and Stu,
yeah,
I guess.
yeah,
But
yeah.
with you, your training, you must have been really fit. You must have been in incredible 10K shape at that point.
Yeah, I was quite fit. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I took it a bit easier. I didn't race, I think, the first WTS. I was building up my training and controlling, my pace and slowing down at the beginning of the year. I didn't want to go too fast, so building up properly. And yeah, but I could see you guys like doing very well in the World Series that year. And Alistair, I think he was injured at the beginning. He missed
Mm.
a few races, and then he turned up, and I think it was Kitzbühel, and he won by. I think I was quite fit then, and he won by, I don't know, 1 minute on the run, and I didn't run bad, so I was like, I'm gonna beat this guy. He's running 1 minute faster than me, and but then I got better. In the last 3-4 weeks, I trained really hard, and my run. I started to feel it on training. The pace I was running, that was
Mm.
my fittest ever. So then you never know what can happen in the race, but I knew I was there. I was fit. I knew you guys were gonna be fit too, and yeah, it was a great battle, and it was a fair race because I think at the
Mm.
Olympics there's always someone winning a medal that you don't expect. They had that day, but I think in London it was a honest race, really hard from the beginning, hard swim, hard bike, hard run, and the best three we were on the podium. So that was that was a great memory.
Oh, no, I completely agree. And if there could have been another person on the podium apart from Alice and myself in London, I would have definitely chosen you, because I think
Yeah.
I remember watching. I was actually in the stand in Beijing,
Oh yeah.
watching you, and I remember
Yeah.
feeling very sorry for you.
Yeah, that was
But
tough.
yeah, and I also remember, obviously, one of our other battles was in 2013.
Yeah.
I pretty much hated you after the finish line, but
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
no, that was another good battle. And again,
Yeah.
one that obviously I knew that Alistair wasn't gonna run, so I knew it was between us two from the start line, and you didn't have that knowledge.
That's
And
true.
then we started racing, and I knew it was gonna come down to the finish line. And I think we talked about this on the ITU thing, but I remember it was a Great North run on the morning before our race, and I remember watching Bekele and Mo have a sprint, and Bekele went from a long way out and beat Mo Farah in the Great North run. So I remember thinking, I'll do the same thing.
It didn't work quite well.
Didn't work very well. But again, that was a good race.
Yeah, it was a good race. I can imagine, like, because I remember other sprints that I lost many sprints and I was feels a bit bitter. But for me, obviously, it was a great day, and winning a sprint that I don't win many was amazing. Remember others. I think Sprint World Championship.
Hello.
You hear
me?
Oh,
yeah, come back again.
Yeah,
sorry.
Sorry.
Sprint World Championships.
Yeah, I think it was 2010 or 11. 11. I think that you won. I got second, and because I never won a WTS a sprint race. I won a few Olympic, but not sprint. And I was world champion. I really wanted to win that one. And I was quite fit. I was running well, but you beat me in the last 800 meters as well. So yeah, when everything is so tight, the level is so high, anything can happen. But those were good races, good days, good old days.
Yeah, one thing, and good old days. One thing that I've always thought amazing about you, obviously lots of things, but you always seem to race quite a lot and still carry your form throughout the whole season. Like I remember when we were having the battles, and obviously it was World Series points, and I'd be like, "Oh, Javi's on another start line in Japan. How's he doing it?" And then South Africa, and then or wherever, New Zealand. And you're always very, very good at doing all the races and maintaining your form. And I always thought it was absolutely amazing. And have you got any insight into how you did that?
Well, it's true. I've always been quite consistent. I'm good at being in my 95% of my maximum throughout the year, and I can travel and I can recover. I guess that's experience as well. I learn how do I need to travel, how many days before I want to get to the race, and how my preparation has to be. And when I'm fit, it takes me some time to get fit, on training. But then I like to do like 3 or 4 races in a row because I know I can keep my fitness. I know everyone's different. Other people, they like to pick for one event and they get their 110% and they are really good at one race. But I always loved the style of racing of the World Series, starting in March and racing all throughout the summer until September, October, and always been good to me. I didn't get too many injuries in my career, which is good as well. So that allowed me to be quite consistent. But you guys were the same. I mean, you never had bad performances. A bad day for you would be a third. I don't know how many podiums in a row did you have in World Series? I don't know. But you were always on the podium.
I think that's actually my proudest. I think what I'll take away from the sport, my proudest moment, I think, is at some point I was at 36 in a row, including French Grand Prix and World Series, and I think the consistency was there. Between us all, because one thing about you is I always knew you were going to be in the race because you're always going to swim to the front. So some athletes you're like, am I going to see this person? Is it going to come down to a big pack or a breakaway? But with you there, it was always going to come down to but I quite enjoyed that racing.
It was the same for me with you guys. I was trying to figure out how to beat you guys, and I was like, well, they're going to swim top 5 for sure. So no, definitely they're not going to be in the second group in the water. They are probably the best 2 cyclists in the series. So I'm not going to drop them on the bike. and they're, the strongest point is probably the run. So I probably have to beat them on the run, and they are the fastest runners as well. So actually, that made me think of many races that we were in, like small breakaways with you guys and maybe another 2 or 3 athletes working really hard on the bike. And I was wondering, well, even if the group of 50 people catch us, I'm still have to be the fastest runner if I want to win the race, like
Yeah.
like only running at the front with you guys. So it was quite amazing years, and at least here in Spain, that created a lot of good fan base of the sport. And a lot of people follow the series, and that rivalry, I think it was generally good for the sport.
And I agree with that. I think we were very fortunate that London came along at the time it did come along. Like, I appreciate that was pure luck that we had a home Olympic Games. And then between us all, I think we all seized the opportunity. And in Leeds, I still get asked about you. About that Spanish guy. They always say, you're still racing that Spanish guy.
Yeah, the Spanish guy. So they always ask me if I'm still racing those 2 brothers here.
We've got a couple of questions here. So one of them is, will you come to the start of Altai free race? Sorry, I don't know. Do you know anything about the Altai free race? Must be in Italy somewhere, maybe in the future. But another question is, what are you enjoying the most during these months? Swimming, biking, or running?
Well, for me, it's probably what you said before. Being at home for a long period of time is pretty nice, after so many years traveling. So that's what I'm enjoying the most, because when I train, I like racing as well. But after the lockdown, because we had a proper lockdown in Spain, we couldn't get out, we couldn't train outside for I don't know, 6 weeks or something. So the first day that I could get out, I was amazing. Like the feeling of just running outside or cycling outside. I really enjoy that, and since then I'm really enjoying the training without the pressure of big races coming up. So probably any, I don't know, cycling or running. Swimming is always a bit more boring, in the pool all day. But I'm enjoying the training and try to improve little things, and without the pressure of the races, it's always nice.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, how long has swimming pools been open for you?
We started swimming in May, I think. We couldn't swim March and April, and I got a small kids pool at home, and I was with a rope and just not moving and trying to swim, which I don't know was any good, but at least I could move my arms and feel the water a little bit, and then you think you're gonna be so bad the first, and you're quite bad the first week, but after 2-3 weeks of training, you get a feeling again, and you start, you're like always pretty much. So
I swam in the pool for the first time on Tuesday, and I did a tumble turn, and I nearly fainted because I haven't been upside down for 6 months.
Really?
All our swimming pools were closed, so we've been swimming in the
lake.
Really? Luckily, we've had a really warm summer, so we've been able to swim the lake most days. But Tuesday was the first time. My tumble turns are bad enough as they are. But
it's funny, and your first race in a pool. we never race in the pool, and then.
I know. I've been saying this to everyone. Normally I train in the pool, I race open water, but this time I've been training open water.
Yeah,
but I'd be good. We've got a few more questions. Next year, Javi, are you racing in Tokyo?
Yeah, that's the plan. I wanted to race this year, and next year focus on long distance and and do other things. But with the games postponed, I guess I will keep my goal and try to. I think I still can be competitive if I'll be 38, but it's just going to be probably a tough race in the heat, and I'm going to give it a try. Yeah. What about you? I guess.
Do you think this year has helped you or hindered you for next year? Do you think this year has helped you into Tokyo, or has it made it harder?
Made it a bit harder, I think, but but now on my mind, it's like this year is over. I'm focused on 2021, so I'll go for it. But obviously, I wanted to have the games this year better than next year, but now it's the way it is. So you just have to do the best you can. Yeah. What about you? Tokyo?
Hopefully Tokyo. Obviously I've not had my greatest couple of years, but I really want to be in Tokyo. I think it'll be a good race. I think it'll be a race that could suit us older. I know I call myself an older athlete, but I feel that way now because I think it's going to be really, really hard. The run's going to be, it's not going to be as fast as London,
Yeah,
But it's going to be
definitely.
hot and hard, and it's going to be about who's on the can race to the conditions well, and who's one of the fittest athletes. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, I hope to be there.
yeah, cool. And
But
what about what after that?
uh,
Are you planning on keep racing ITU? Have you thought of long distance, 70.3?
well, I think after Tokyo, I'll definitely want a change and away from the ITU scene.
Mm,
I'd still actually quite like to do a bit of Super League. I really like Super League racing.
yeah,
But I think I'd go into 70.3. And
yeah,
then eventually into Ironman and Kona. But
yeah,
watching you and Alistair in Kona has actually put me off. It's
yeah,
actually made
yeah,
me
man.
less likely to do Kona. I
That's
stayed up
such a long day, man.
because I think if you can't do it, then I've got no chance.
No,
uh,
it's just
it's
it's almost a different sport. No matter,
yeah.
well, it matters. I mean, but you can be very good in ITU, and it's a total different thing, you know.
Mm.
And training your nutrition, you probably know from Alistair, you know, and you know your bike and being able to sustain an effort for such a long time is very different. It needs time, you know. Especially Kona is
Mm.
a very different race. My other Ironman experience, my first Ironman, I did 7:56. I was really happy with the result, you know, and yeah, I blew up a little bit in the last 10K, but that's quite normal. But
Mm.
Kona, you know, with sort of such a competitive field and the conditions, the heat, the wind, and the dynamics of the race, the race that you have to learn and do a couple of times probably before you can actually be good. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's no reason why you can't perform well there.
Well,
So
I stayed up very late watching Alistair last year, and
yeah,
I didn't enjoy the look of it. It looked
yeah,
a long way.
especially on the
But
run. Yeah.
yeah, what's your plan? Will you move on from the ITU after Tokyo?
Yeah. I mean, I'll give it a try. The Kona probably another one or two shots. I don't know. See how the body feels and if I still enjoy it. But yeah. I mean, there's no especially now ITU getting shorter and shorter with more sprint races. You know, I probably won't be as competitive and and when you've been doing the same thing for
Mm.
15 years, it's always nice to do something different. And that year that I trained for long distance, it was quite exciting for me, you know, to learn about new things and put myself out of my comfort zone, I guess. So that's what's quite good. And I want to do it again after Tokyo. So yeah, I don't know for how many years, but for a few more years, definitely.
Oh, lovely. Well, hopefully I'll race you over
Yeah, we
Kona
might
since
see each other there.
and
Yeah.
hopefully it's not as close as in London 2013
Yeah.
because
Oh no.
I won't want to sprint after that. So
No.
someone said, Jonny, how did you celebrate Leeds United becoming champions and getting promotion? Hopefully you've heard about Leeds United get promoted. I
Yeah.
don't think you can miss it. And it was weird celebrating it because we were still in a kind of lockdown where you weren't allowed to meet friends or
Yeah.
anything. I'll go. So I went down to the town and bought an ice cream and ate it
Yeah.
on a wall. That's how I celebrate Leeds United getting promoted.
That's the best you can do. Yeah.
That's the best
Yeah.
I can do.
Yeah.
And someone says just two quick ones and then we'll finish because
Mm.
I don't know if it's late in Spain now. Have you eaten yet? In Spain, I
Yeah.
don't know. You guys always eat late.
Yeah,
What's your
we are
best?
always late. Yeah.
Yeah, what's your best 400-meter crawl time?
Oh, again, as my swimmers era, I went 3:56 a short course. Yeah, but also like after a good swimming period and with those plastic suits that we had in 2009, that I was flying with that. But I can do that. I did a
That's
few 402, 403s like as a triathlete, kind of when I was fit for swimming, but probably can't go that fast now.
yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
still good
What
going.
about
And
you? Have you ever raced in the pool?
not since I was about 10. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, 10, 12. I moved to kind of triathlon very, very early. I wasn't the best swimmer,
Yeah,
and we very much had a situation with our swim squad that you either committed to swimming, or you
yeah,
did triathlon, and it's changed a lot. People's kind of how they look at the sport now. Back in the
yeah,
day, it was very
yeah,
much, oh, triathlon, what's that? It was kind of a bit of
yeah,
it got in the way for swim coaches. So
yeah,
not really for me. I reckon at my best,
yeah,
maybe about 4:10 short course.
yeah.
Um,
But what's
but
impressive with you guys is the way you perform in open waters. Like, I still struggle, you know, I still feel that I'm a better swimmer in the pool than open waters, but you guys seems to know where you are all the time you make it always to the front easily. I sometimes have problems and it gets stuck and I come up for the 20th, but you guys are always at the front. So this is also, and you guys do that very well.
Yeah, I definitely convert to open water a lot better. But right, anyway, I don't want to keep you too long. We've got a few more questions, but right. Good luck at the weekend on Saturday.
Well,
good. And good luck in France, firstly.
Too. I'll see you in a few days, and talking to you. And thanks everyone for watching and following us. Yeah.
If everyone wants to watch us on Sunday afternoonish. I don't know what, about 2:00ish. We're going to be racing the Super League Arena Games, and watch Javi swim a sub 2-minute 200.
That's not going to happen.
It better not happen. Right, see you later.
No. Okay, see you later. Cheers, man.
Bye.
Great talking to you. Bye.